Niti niti la la.
No matter how many blings you collect, it never feels like enough.
Oh, I know! When I'm eating barbecue, it never feels like enough either. Why does Dada always leave half a sentence hanging? Now we have to go find out ourselves. Anyway, let's go see how special Silken Lake's become. Oh, wait, Nikki. Is that someone crying by the lake?
Greg, what's wrong?
I miss my grandma.
Your grandma? I don't think you've ever mentioned her before.
I try not to. Whenever I think about her, it hurts so much. She was a quirky little old lady. She always carried around an old worn-out notebook full of stories. She used to tell me that every night. The darkness carves out a brand new moon. She'd say there's a hidden kingdom in the snow, and even the little snakes in the meadow have wishes that sparkle. She told me all of that. But she also had a bad habit. She never finished her stories. She always said, "I'll tell you the rest next time." But after a dozen or so next times, she never got the chance to finish any of them.
Those sound like such beautiful memories. Your grandma must have been a wise and gentle soul. Maybe those unfinished stories were a special gift she left for you.
A gift? What do you mean?
Maybe it was always her dream to write those stories with her favorite grandkid. So she'd start them, and then wait for the day you'd pick up that old notebook and continue to write, and eventually finish them yourself.
You really think so? I hope that's true. Thank you, Nikki.
Whoa, here come the tears again. Craig, are you sure you're okay?
During the blue tear season, this is what you're supposed to do. Just let it all out. Cry as hard as you need, and let the blue tears carry your sadness away. Look, I mean, I already feel so much better.
That's great. But what are blue tears?
Oh, just keep walking and you'll see them. There's this whole stretch of glowing blue water. At night by the shore, it shimmers really beautifully. This time of year, during the blue tears season, people tend to feel more emotional. So, if you see someone like me crying by the lake, don't worry. Just let them cry it out. Sometimes, sadness gets buried so deep you just can't talk about it. But every 20 years with the blue tears, you can finally let it all go.
I see now. The blue tears stay by the water, quietly listening to you, like an old friend who never interrupts. They help people leave their sadness in this season. That way they can step into the future with a lighter heart.
But what if someone's really upset and they don't want to cry their heart out by the lake where others might hear them?
Well, you can always visit the tear bottle vendor and buy a special bottle full of blue tears. That way, you can share your sorrows with the blue tears anywhere, even in private. But to be honest, I still prefer coming here. They say that if the blue tears truly bless you, they might carry you back to the past, so you can make things right.
Take you back to the past?
When I was little, a lullaby passed around Breezy Meadow about the blue tears. I still remember parts of it. Blue tears, secrets kept in guarded years. Upstream I drift, soft and light, to yesterday's fading plight. If this is true, I hope the blue tears can take me back. That way I can tell my grandma about the story I've been writing. But it's just a lullaby. I've never actually met anyone blessed by the blue tears.
Is that so? Hey, Momo, why don't we go ahead and see the blue tears? If they can help people mend regrets, they must be special.
Don't cry. Don't cry anymore.
Huh? Who's speaking?
You passed out all of a sudden. It scared me.
I did... what?
Just now, by the lake. We were watching the blue tears, and then a voice suddenly started speaking to us. And then you just walked straight into the water. I called out, but you didn't respond, and then you collapsed. Thankfully, a passerby helped me pull you out. Her name's Deanna. She's a ranger.
Oh, it was nothing. And ranger might be a bit of a stretch. I only just started training. I actually learned how to swim by helping kids catch fish, since I could never get the hang of fishing. I never thought it'd actually come in handy someday. But I'm glad it did. How are you feeling now? Do you hurt anywhere? I'm all right. Thank you, Deanna. But what about you? Me? I'm fine. Wait, my bracelet. It's gone.
Oh no, don't tell me it just fell in the lake.
Bracelet? Oh, please don't worry about it. That scale bracelet is actually a little odd. It's gone missing a few times, but somehow it always finds its way back. Grandma used to say people, like rivers, flow alongside each other. Things that drift along the water are sometimes returned by it too. Maybe one day, after some twists and turns, a kind soul will return it. I feel a bit sad about losing it, but it was worth it to get you out safely. Still, your bracelet was lost because of me. Deanna, I'll help you find it.
It's that voice from the Blue Tears' fault. Without it, none of this would have happened.
A voice? What voice? It was a woman's voice. She kept telling me not to cry, and not to let death be how she's remembered. Her tone was warm, but somehow it filled me with such deep sorrow. Strange. I didn't hear anything. While I was helping you, I spotted some strange blue figures flickering near the water's edge. I was going to check it out, but then you woke up.
Unheard voices. Flickering figures. This is starting to give me the chills. Is that part of the Blue Tears legend, too?
I've only heard the version where you return to the past to fix regrets. Wait! Hold on! Did you hear a response from the Blue Tears? Isn't that supposed to be a blessing? This sounds dangerous. It even mentioned death. I'm confused, too. I'm worried. Whoever that voice belonged to, she sounded like she was in trouble, like she was calling out from somewhere far away. But how is that linked to the Blue Tears' legend of regret and redemption? I don't really know either. I've only just arrived in Wishfield, so I'm not too familiar with the Blue Tears. That story, I heard it from a tear bottle vendor I met across the river. They might know more about it. You should ask them. Great. Thank you, Deanna. We'll head there now. Okay, I'll look around too. I didn't hear the voice, but if there's another clue here, maybe I can find it. If you need help again, come find me.
The tear bottle vendor should be somewhere close by. Wait, are they that glowing blue thing? Nikki, what are those things?
A wishing one, how could this be? Alicia was killed by the serpent! How could that monster do that?
Madness. Everything's falling apart. At least the serpent handed over the Orosa scepter. Otherwise...
The shadows? Are they talking?
Don't be scared. I'll go ask. Who are you? Why are you here? And what's all this about the serpent killing Alicia? No response.
Nikki! Ribbit! Can you hear that terrifying Shadow's voice? Ah! A ghost! What? A croaker? What are you doing here? Ribbit, I'm here to collect the blue tears for the tear bottles. The blue tears are so sad. When humans cry to them, it makes them feel a little better. Ribbit! Ribbit, I can trade tear bottles for art supplies and for stories, and then I can make tons of new graffiti. So you're the tear bottle vendor we've been looking for.
You scared me for a second. I thought something strange had happened again. Long time no see, Miss Croaker.
It's strange, but seeing you here by this eerie shadow gives me a bizarre sense of comfort.
Me too. Oh, Miss Croaker, do you know what these shadows are?
Ribbit, I don't know anything about them. Not long ago, a bunch of blue shadows appeared at the lake with blue tears. Ribbit, this is the first time I've seen them. I was going to hide upstream by the river, but there were more shadows over there, so I got scared and I ran back here. Ribbit!
So then, the strange figures Deanna noticed must have been these shadows.
Actually, Ribbit, I have an idea. These shadows might be related to the original legend of the Blue Tears, Ribbit. The one about going back to the past to fix regrets? Yes, Ribbit. A long, long time ago, some saw the shadows of their loved ones who died in a war by the lake, Ribbit. They cried their heart out, telling their loved ones how much they missed them and made up for the regret of never saying goodbye. That's how the legend started, Ribbit. Other croakers say it happened almost a few centuries ago. Maybe those people saw those strange shadows back then, Ribbit! But there's no mention of these shadows speaking. It's only you who can hear them, Nikki, Ribbit. Maybe you're the Blue Tears' chosen one, Ribbit.
Maybe. I came from far away to get here, so we might be linked somehow. Maybe that's why I keep finding strange things. Miss Croaker, we're tracking a mysterious voice. It always appears at the same time as the shadows. But just now, when they showed up, I didn't hear the voice at all.
Maybe still, they could be connected to the mysterious voice somehow.
Could be. Oh, earlier, we overheard the shadows saying that the serpent killed Alicia. So, if these shadows were once real people, then what they're talking about might actually have happened in the past. Miss Croaker, have you ever heard of Alicia and the serpent?
Ribbit, Ribbit, Alicia. Never heard of her, Ribbit. But the serpent? Oh, that's super scary, Ribbit! They say it's big enough to coil around the entire Well of Fortune, and its fangs are longer than 3 croakers stacked up on top of each other. They say it snatches up all the naughty little croakers, Ribbit! That doesn't sound like a good thing. Oh, wait, can we even still call it a thing?
The serpent killing people. Could that be what the mysterious voice was referring to when it mentioned death? Why am I the only one who can hear it? Is it asking me to do something?
Ah! So creepy! The weird voice is back again! Bye-bye, Nikki, Ribbit. I'm getting out of here! So fast!
Let's go, Momo. We should get moving too. Maybe if we keep investigating these shadows, we'll find out more about that mysterious voice. The croaker mentioned those shadows appeared upstream along the river, too. If we keep investigating, we'll get to the bottom of this. A rainy day is perfect for picking rainy orchids.
With the key we were given, the gates of the Serpentine ruins will swing wide open for us. The main force is already hidden under a veil of mist. Once the time is right, we'll strike Florowish and start the war. It's been centuries since the Veil fall, since our god left this world. This time, we must discover how to use the scepter and let our god's light shine once more. Those ignorant fools. They have the audacity to call us the Fanatic Wishers. But they have no idea. We carry a sacred mission to revive our god.
Sith the Serpent is a liar! She tricked everyone!
That's hard to believe. Maybe there's more to the story.
It'll be too late for second guesses when misfortune strikes. We must take back the Orosa Scepter. The hands of traitors must not hold our god's power.
May the Wishing One's blessings remain. Even though he has long since departed, he still cares for his people and called forth the Serpent to watch over us.
Give the scepter to the Divine Envoy! No one's more worthy than Sith!
Nikki, the shadows mentioned the Mistveil War and the Fanatic Wishers.
If I remember correctly, all of this actually happened in Wishfield. It seems these shadows really are echoes from the past, living snapshots of history. But there is still one thing that I don't get. Why are they always talking about the Serpent? From the sound of it, the Serpent named Sith was alive during the Mistveil War. Well, if you can call it alive. She disguised herself as the Wishing One's divine envoy, as a means to get a hold of the Orosa Scepter. And after that, she even murdered someone.
These shadows, could they be the souls of those persecuted by the Serpent? Ghosts trapped here by their regrets?
Possibly. Isn't there a Blue Tears legend about returning to yesterday? Maybe that's what it means. Bringing people back from the past. Like these shadows and that mysterious voice. Maybe she's a person who was alive long ago. She mentioned death. Maybe she was one of the victims of the Serpent, too. And what we're hearing is an old cry for help.
But why would the Blue Tears come find us? Whatever happened to her, it's been centuries. She's probably long gone now.
Upstream I drift, soft and light, to yesterday's fading plight. Maybe it's not just a cry for help. Maybe she actually wants us to help make things right. But we still don't know who she is, or what regret she left behind.
Nikki, did you hear something just now?
That noise. Someone's following us.
It came from somewhere over that way. Come on, let's go. Looks like it's here either. Let's keep looking around. Whoa, Ashley! Don't worry, Nikki. I'll keep myself safe.
Gotcha!
All right, spill it. Why were you stalking us?
I wasn't stalking you. I was just lurking, watching what you were doing and trying to figure out these shadows.
That's called stalking.
I just noticed a bunch of shadows suddenly pop up around the ruins. Then you and this weird cat showed up, and it looked like you could talk to them.
So, you got curious?
Exactly. I thought maybe these ghosts of history had summoned you. So I decided to tail you and see what I could find out.
I see now. You misunderstood. We don't know where these ghosts of history came from, and we can't talk to the shadows. But we can hear what they're saying. So, the ghosts of history, is that what you're calling them?
Yes. Allow me to reintroduce myself. I'm Phoebe, and I'm a historian. I came to these ruins because I'm researching a subject related to the Mistveil War. And for this particular topic, I have a special connection. An ancestor who was a fanatic wisher.
Fanatic wishers? Not really. I just picked up some bits and pieces from the shadows. I was hoping to find someone who knows more.
If I remember right, the Fanatic Wishers raided Florawish and Stoneville under the Mistveil, and they stole the Arosa Scepter, didn't they?
And those shadows we saw, they said the serpent disguised herself as a divine envoy and took the scepter. Phoebe, do you know anything about that?
Strange. Unlike my family, you don't seem afraid of the name Fanatic Wishers.
Well, if you said you wanted to destroy Wishfield and make everyone miserable, then yes, I'd be scared. Actually, no. I'd be really mad. But since you haven't told us why you mentioned them, I figured I'd listen till the end.
If only more people thought like you. The truth is, my family's full of people we're proud of. It's just that one ancestor who joined the Fanatic Wishers. No one ever talks about him. It's like he's a ghost.
Being afraid of someone long gone, someone you can't even see, it does sound like facing a ghost.
Exactly. But I've never liked pretending things didn't happen. All these years, I've been chasing the truth behind that ghost. Sorry, I still haven't answered your question. That divine envoy you mentioned might actually be linked to my ancestor.
Really?
Yes. That so-called divine envoy is rarely mentioned. In fact, in all the historical records I've read, there's nothing connecting them to the Mistveil War, and nothing at all that links them to the Arosa Scepter. Only a single journal page I found buried in my family's archives. It briefly mentions that divine envoy. From what I gathered, I believe my ancestor might not have joined the Fanatic Wishers out of malice, but for some greater purpose. Nikki, I happened to overhear you speaking to the shadows earlier, so I'd like to ask for your help.
Hold up. How do you know Nikki's name? How long were you eavesdropping for?
All of it? The things you've discovered are incredibly valuable. I was actually planning to include it in my thesis. I'll list you in the acknowledgements, of course.
That's tempting, Phoebe. Actually, I've also been investigating a mysterious voice that may be linked to that so-called divine envoy. Maybe we can team up.
Amazing. Who knows? I might be able to uncover the voice's identity from historical records. Then you can help me prove that the Forgotten Ghost was actually someone remarkable. In that case, Nikki, I'd make you a co-author on my thesis.
What about me? Me!
Of course, and Momo too. I can't wait to start working with you both. Nikki, I've cross-referenced several locations where the shadows are gathering in large numbers. I found that many of them overlap with key sites from the Mistveil War. So, based on that, I made some educated guesses about where else the shadows might gather. Let's start right away.
Found you! Nowhere to hide now.
From what I've observed, blue fireflies tend to gather around the shadows. They could lead the way.
Nikki, look! The blue fireflies are moving! Let's follow them!
It shouldn't be far now. I wonder what we'll discover.
I'm sorry, Alicia. I didn't mean to bother you. I just wanted to quietly leave these 2 sprigs of soft daisies at your door. My sister headed out early this morning after you defeated the monsters in that area. She said she was gathering materials for the Wimancer to patch up some clothes. I was just thinking, if there's anything you need, just say the word. We can't fight monsters like you do, but we can help collect materials.
Oh, I totally forgot about mending clothes. Don't worry about it. And please thank your sister for me. The flowers she picked are absolutely beautiful.
You...
Of course I remember. I remember the path to the riverside was blocked too. I'll figure something out. About your sister's eyes and those monsters. There will be a way.
That voice. Nikki, that's the same mysterious voice we heard by the lake.
So, that was Alicia. The one killed by Sith the Serpent. That voice we heard must have been left behind after she was attacked by Sith. From the sound of it, during the Mistvale War, she was a hero to many. No, hero might not be the right word. The war brought terrible suffering to innocent people, but because of those like her, hope could still live in their hearts.
What a tragedy. Someone like her was taken by the serpent. Nikki, do you think she was so well loved back then? That maybe Phoebe can find her in some of the history books?
Maybe. And if we can figure out what kind of life she had, maybe we'll understand what kind of regrets she had. Then we can help her in the present. Also, she was called a Wimancer. That's a weird title. Do you think people made it up back then because the fanatic wishers didn't like the term stylist? Let's ask Phoebe when we see her.
Strange. Many of the shadows we passed on the way don't quite match my hypothesis. Nikki, I'd like to check another location later to confirm my hypothesis. Could you help by listening to the nearby shadows and recording what they say?
Hey, is he okay? He keeps talking to that scaled bracelet, laughing and crying, like a conversation. That bracelet, doesn't it look just like the Divine Envoy's scales?
You don't know the story. He and his little brother fled here together, but they ran into a monster along the way. His brother threw himself in front of the attack. A few days ago, he volunteered to help haul supplies, and the Divine Envoy gave him that bracelet. She said it would bring him protection. He returned and broke down in tears, saying that maybe if he'd had that bracelet earlier and given it to his brother, maybe he'd still be alive.
Nikki, they mentioned the scale bracelet.
Could it really be that Sith made it from her own scales? That she made it to protect people?
But she's not even a real Divine Envoy. Why would she do that?
If it was just about gaining people's trust, they already believed she was a Divine Envoy. Everyone believed in her. She didn't need to do something like that. Unless she was up to something. But he seemed just like an ordinary person.
No way she did all this just to be nice, right?
Wait, Deanna also lose a scale bracelet? You don't think the two bracelets are connected somehow, do you? Momo, let's head to the lakeside and ask her.
Yep.
Hey, did you hear? During the last wishing ceremony, people asked the Divine Envoy to grant them shelter. And they actually got it! They say we can all hide in that huge cavern now! The Wishing One really did send an envoy to protect us! There's still hope!
Divine Envoy. When the Silver Gale left us for good, my children were taken too. Now the prophecy has returned. Maybe they're on their way home too. Please plant a lamp bloom for them. That way they can find their way back.
A wishing ceremony. I guess there are some wishes even the Wishing One can't fulfill.
And the Divine Envoy was actually the serpent in disguise.
But the serpent did build a shelter for them. She tried to make their wishes come true. Was that all really just to win people's trust? Also, something a shadow said earlier was kinda strange. It was like they'd actually been there, back when the Wishing One still roamed the land as the Silvergale. We really need to tell Phoebe about all of this.
Before we head back to Phoebe, let's go ask about the scale bracelet.
Looks like everyone nearby has been told. One more time, let's circle the lake, just in case anyone's in trouble.
Deanna, what are you muttering about?
Oh, Nikki and Momo! It's kind of a long story. Not long after you two left, a bunch of strange shadows started appearing around the Blue Tears, so I figured I'd hang around, just in case. Why are you two back here? Well... this scale bracelet was given to my ancestor a long time ago, when a passing ranger and her companion saved him from a monster. This can protect you from Esslings. Keep it close until you don't need it anymore. That's all the ranger said before hurrying off. So how long would they need it for? For generations, this remained unanswered. Back in that age of disaster and chaos, who wouldn't want something like that?
Exactly! A life-saving item? You'd never let it go.
But when someone else collapsed right in front of my ancestor, that's when he understood. The apocalypse shattered the old ways of life, like a storm or a wildfire. Everyone got swept up in it. No one could stand against it alone. The ranger couldn't save everyone, neither could my ancestor. But at the very least, he could save the person in front of him. Since then, that bracelet has been passed along, and our family began to travel. They went from one country to another. The more suffering they witnessed, the more they realized how much more suffering there was, in places we couldn't see. For one bracelet, that's very profound. Oh, I didn't want to burden you before, so I didn't tell you. I grew up hearing that story often. I dreamed of becoming someone like that ranger, someone who could give others strength. To me, she felt like a faraway friend, like a star in the sky. I always wondered, all those centuries ago, what kind of person was she, and where did she travel? My family believes the bracelet is meant for whoever dares to go the farthest, where danger lurks in the unknown. Before my grandmother passed, she gave it to me and encouraged me to start my own journey. That's why I came to Wishfield. I wanted to learn more about the Ranger. This is where she came from. But these past few days, I haven't had much luck.
What's her name? Maybe we've heard of her.
Alicia. Ranger Alicia. And her friend, Sith. Wait. Sith? You mean Alicia and Sith the Serpent were friends? Deanna, when your ancestor met her, was Sith a giant serpent? I've never heard anything like that. If she was a giant serpent, I'm sure my ancestor would have mentioned it. But the bracelets are the same, and have the same power. Just one was given by Alicia, and the other by Sith the Serpent. What exactly was their relationship? Were they allies or enemies? That era was so long ago. Most of its history has been lost to time. I've been here for so long, and until you showed up, I hadn't heard a single word about Alicia. But you've uncovered a lot. I'm sure you'll figure it out. You're right. Come on, Momo. Let's check out the rest of the shadows nearby. Good luck! And please, if you do discover anything about Alicia, promise you'll tell me. You can find me at the Meadow Wharf!
Investigation complete. Nikki, let's go back and talk to Phoebe about everything we've discovered.
Phoebe, we're back.
Just a moment. Let's put the rest aside for now. Nikki, could you help me sense this shadow here? I think I just saw my family's crest on him. Nikki, I think the ghost I've been chasing this whole time might be standing right in front of me.
I see.
Let go! Let go! We didn't get the item yet! We have to go back!
Go back? I dragged you all the way out of that cursed cavern, and you want to run back in? They told you there was treasure in that cavern, but not that it's filled with traps and hidden weapons. You told me there was treasure too, but left out the part where the treasure is just some worthless legend.
You short-sighted fool! Once we find a way to wield the Erosa's scepter, there's no wish we won't be able to grant!
It's not possible! People died, and all we got was a page torn from an old journal. It's got nothing to do with the scepter!
Wait, so the journal was taken from inside the cavern?
What's wrong? What did you hear? This means my entire premise is wrong. That journal wasn't written by my ancestor. It was an old record they found in the cavern. The Erosa Scepter, the Divine Envoy, they're even more ancient.
So, the shadows appearing near the blue tears, the ghosts of history, they're not just from the Mistvale War, are they?
That's right. The term Windmancer only appears in documents that predate the rise of the Eight. It refers to those who wielded wind before the discovery of the stone tablets, through more primitive means. The stone tablets discovered by the Eight allowed more people to access and use wind. After that, the word stylist gradually replaced the term Windmancer. So, going off of what the shadows have been saying, there are actually two separate different time periods here. One is from the Mistveil War, and one is from after the Veilfall, but before the Eight emerged.
So there are shadows from two different eras. That's why it felt like the time they were describing didn't line up with the Mistveil War.
So, further in the past, the Serpent posed as a divine envoy and obtained the Arosa Scepter. Later, she killed a Windmancer named Alicia. She was exposed, and she lost the scepter. It matches the historical records. After Florawish was rebuilt, the Arosa Scepter was in the hands of the Wishing One's statue, until the Fanatic Wishers took it.
After that, the story we heard before starts when the Fanatic Wishers went into the cavern to find a way for humans to use the Arosa Scepter, right?
Yes. About the Fanatic Wishers. Nikki, could you help me investigate one more location? I know it might not be connected to the major historical events we've just uncovered, but it's important to me.
No problem. Don't worry, Phoebe. We'll head right over.